Okay, number 28. Now, this is a long word problem. At any time t is greater than or equal to days, the rate of growth of a bacterial population is y prime equals ky, where y is the number of bacteria present and k is a constant. The initial population is 1,500 and the population is quadrupled during the first 2 days. By what factor will the population have increased during the first 3 days? Okay, initial population is 1,500, so y0 equals 1,500. And if it quadruples during the first 2 days, that means y of 2, right, is equal to 6,000, right? 4 times 1,500 is 6,000. So the initial population y0 is 1,500. Population after 2 days, y2 equals 4 times that amount, 6,000. Okay? By what factor will the population have increased during the first 3 days? Basically, they're asking what is y3, and in other words, they want us to solve for y. So in order to get this function of y, we have to say, well, dy dt equals ky, and we have to get the y's on one side and the t on the other side. So dt, both sides, divide both sides by y, and this becomes dy over y equals k dt. Now to solve for this, we take the integral of both sides. This becomes ln of y equals k dt, so it's just kt plus c, because it's an indefinite integral. Alright, now you might be asking, why don't I put the c on this side? Well, I could, it would just make my life a lot harder because of this next step. Now, ln y equals kt plus c, another way of saying that is e to this equals y, right? If I had a c on this side, I would end up bringing it to the other side anyway. Okay, so this is why I put the c on this side. And I end up with e to the kt plus c equals y, right? E to this whole thing, kt plus c equals y. Okay, now I got that. Cool, that's actually a really big step. Now, the next thing is I have to solve for c, okay? So, in order to solve for c, I plug in 0. I have to solve for c and k, but I can't solve for both at the same time. That's why I have these 2 points, because I have 2 different constants that I need to solve for. So I'll start with y of 0, because that'll help me, because it'll get rid of my k. So y of 0 equals 1,500, or in other words, e to the kt, which k times 0 is 0, plus c equals 1,500. Okay? So, in other words, let's see, what do I have here? E to the c equals 1,500. Wow, that looks weird. How do I solve for c then in that case? Well, I'm going to move up here because I'm running out of space. I'm going to take the ln of both sides. ln of e to the c equals the ln of 1,500, or ln of e to the c is just c equals the ln of 1,500. Okay, cool. So now I have y equals e to the kt plus the ln of 1,500. Well, I'm going to make my life a little easier and just turn this to e to the kt times e to the ln of 1,500. Okay, because that's what I can do that with exponents. And now that I have that, e to the ln of 1,500 is just 1,500. So in other words, y equals 1,500 e to the kt. All right. Now I want to solve for k, so I plug in y of 2 equals 6,000. So 6,000 equals e to the k times 2. All right? Equals, I apologize, 1,500 times e to the 2k, right? Plugging in 2 for t. I divide both sides by 1,500. I get 4 equals e to the 2k. Well, once again, I want to solve for k, right? So I take the ln of both sides. Well, the ln of e to the 2k is just 2k, so I end up with 2k equals the ln of 4, or k equals 1/2 ln 4. Well, I can bring that 1/2 up, equals ln 4 to the 1/2 power. Well, 4 to the 1/2 is just 2, so k equals the ln of 2. Alright, now, getting a little closer. We have y equals e to the kt plus c, or remember here, y equals 1500 e to the kt, so y equals 1500 e to the t times ln of 2. Okay, now we can plug in our t. We solved for everything, this is our function. Now we can plug in t. Okay, so we want to find y after 3 days, so I plug in 3. So this equals 1500 e to the 3 times ln 2. And you're saying, well, I don't know what that is. Well, I bring the 3 up here, right? And this becomes 1500 e to the ln of 2 to the 3rd power, which is just 8. Well, e to the ln of 8 is just 8, so this becomes 1500 times 8. Okay? Now, the question is, how much, by what factor will the population have increased? Well, my initial population was 1500, y3 is 1500 times 8, so it increased by a factor of 8, and my final answer is D. And that is it. Clearly, these last 4 were really tough. If you stuck with them at all, great job. You should feel really super happy. And if you're super confused, just watch them again. You'll